At my little brother's spelling bee, a man in the audience stood up and shouted, "That's my son!" I turned around confused because Theo was at the microphone, and this stranger was pointing straight at him. The room went dead silent. Theo was 8. It was his first regional final, and the whole thing was being live-streamed to the district website, a camera on a tripod at the back, a little red light. He didn't even notice the man at first. He was too busy staring at the ceiling the way he does when he's spelling something out in his head. My mother, sitting beside me, went white, not pale, white, in about 2 seconds. The man was already pushing out of his row with his phone up, filming. "That's Theo. That's my boy. Somebody stop her." My mother's hand closed around my arm so hard it hurt. She stood without a word and went down the aisle fast, and I followed her because I didn't know what else to do. She went straight up the steps at the side of the stage and lifted Theo off his feet, mid-word, and carried him toward the wings. He looked back at the microphone like he'd done something wrong. The man was running down the aisle now, screaming that she'd taken his child, that someone needed to call the police. We went out through a fire door, past a line of stunned kids waiting their turn, into the car park. My mother's hands were shaking so badly she dropped the keys twice. I picked them up and opened the car and got Theo into the back seat, and he was crying now, asking why we were leaving, asking if he'd spelled it wrong. Then the man caught up to us. He wasn't shouting anymore. He was crying. He said his son's name, Theo's name, and told me his rights had been stolen, that he'd been searching for 6 years. He put himself between us and the car door. My mother pushed me into the back seat with Theo and locked the doors from inside. He started hitting the window with his open hand. "Give me my son. I have his birth certificate. I have hospital records. Call the police. I want you to call them." She already was. People were spilling out of the hall now. Some of them were filming. 2 fathers came over and stood a few feet away, not sure whose side they were on, and that's the part I still think about. Nobody knew. Every single person in that car park was watching a woman lock a screaming man out of a car with a crying child in it, and they had no idea what they were looking at. Theo grabbed my sleeve and asked me if that man was telling the truth. I didn't answer, because for about 90 seconds, I didn't know. My mother turned around in the front seat and told me to lock the doors behind her. Then she got out. I watched through the glass. He was showing people photographs on his phone. She was showing people something on hers. Both of them were crying. The police took 4 minutes. 2 officers separated them. One came to my window and asked me to roll it down, asked if I was okay, asked if that was my brother. I nodded. He said to sit tight. I watched my mother hand her phone to the officer and scroll through it for him, slowly. 1 page at a time, 15 minutes, radio calls. Then one of the officers walked back to the man, said something quietly, and put him in handcuffs. He went down onto his knees on the tarmac and sobbed, and they had to lift him into the car. My mother came back looking like she'd aged a year. Her eyes were red. "Is he Theo's real dad?" I asked. "No," she said. "I'm Theo's real parent. I have been since he was 2. She explained it on the drive home, with Theo asleep in his booster seat. That man was Theo's biological father. His rights had been terminated by a court 6 years ago after a long, ugly case I'd been too young to understand at the time. My parents fostered Theo first. Then they adopted him, properly, finally, in a courtroom with a judge and a stamp. There was a restraining order. He'd been breaking it for years, turning up at parks, at school gates, at a swimming pool once, and this time he'd found us because the district posts its event schedule online, with the school names in it for anyone to read. My mother has kept the adoption decree and the court order scanned on her phone since the day it was granted. 6 years, in a folder, waiting. I asked her why she never deleted it. She said, "Because I always knew." The bee ran the following weekend. Theo went back. He got to the word he never finished. My mother didn't take my brother. She kept him.